The galaxy was wide and full of stars, and for many years, humanity tried to live in peace with the other empires. They listened, they waited, they endured insult after insult. Alien rulers called humans weak, too young to rule the stars, too soft to fight wars, and still humanity stayed calm. Their diplomats smiled, their traders bowed, their fleets stood silent at the borders. Patience was their only weapon, but patience has limits, and each year the pressure grew heavier. Alien ships taxed human convoys. Alien raiders took colonies. Alien councils laughed at human voices in meetings. The galaxy believed humans would never rise, that they would always remain a minor race. No danger to anyone, no threat at all, yet in secret, hidden in the black of space, humanity worked. Deep inside asteroid belts and quiet moons, great shipyards grew, building warships larger and faster than anyone guessed. Their admirals studied every battle ever fought by alien empires. They learned the weak points, the mistakes, the blind spots. While the galaxy mocked them, humanity sharpened its blade in silence. Then came the breaking point, a refugee convoy of humans. Families fleeing war zones, carrying children and old ones, was attacked by alien raiders. 10,000 lives lost in the dark. Their ships burned, their signals ignored. The galaxy looked away. No one cared. The alien raiders were not punished, not even questioned, and the Council told humanity to accept it, to be patient once more, but this time no reply came. The ambassadors of Earth stayed silent, no tears, no anger, only silence. Silence that stretched across the stars like a storm waiting to break. Alien spies began to notice strange things. Human fleets that should be patrolling borders vanished. Space stations that once sent regular reports went dark. Trade routes once filled with human cargo ships grew empty. Whispers spread in the Galactic Council. Where are the humans going? What are they hiding? Why are they silent? The alien leaders laughed. They said humans were weak and cowardly. Perhaps they were hiding in fear. Perhaps they were too broken to speak. The galaxy returned to its games, while humanity disappeared from the stage. Then one day the doors of the Galactic Council opened, and the human ambassador walked in. He looked calm, too calm, the chamber filled with alien voices mocking and jeering, calling for humanity to explain itself, calling them cowards, traitors, failures. The ambassador did not shout. He did not argue, he only stood there silent. And when the noise was too much, he raised his hand. The chamber grew quiet. Every eye turned to him. Every ear waited for excuses or pleas. But the man spoke only 2 words, and those 2 words made the entire galaxy hold its breath. He said, patience ended. He walked out, leaving silence behind him. The chamber roared in confusion. In fear and disbelief across the stars, strange signals began to appear. Encrypted human codes that no alien could read. Fleets that had vanished now reappeared on the edge of enemy space. Warships with strange designs never seen before. Dreadnoughts the size of cities. Carriers bristling with fighters. Battleships carrying weapons that glowed with unknown energy. Alien captains sent urgent warnings to their leaders. But many did not believe. They said humanity could not fight. They said humanity would never dare. But reports kept coming. Human fleets massing in dark corners of space. Human ships slipping past sensors. Human guns pointing at targets deep inside alien empires. Whispers spread faster than fire. Some said humanity had built weapons that could break planets. Others said they had found ways to strike across light years in seconds. No one knew the truth, but everyone felt fear. And in the dark of space, inside the bridge of a massive human dreadnought, an admiral stood before his officers, his voice steady, his face hard. He looked at the map of the galaxy filled with red marks, targets, shipyards, command stations. This war will not be long, he said. It will not be slow, it will be fast. Sharp and final, we waited long enough. Now we strike. The officers saluted. Engines roared to life, fleets turned toward enemy stars. The silence of humanity broke at last, not with words, but with the thunder of war. And the galaxy, still laughing in its halls and courts, had no idea that in 6 short days everything would change forever. Would the aliens resist? Would they unite? Would they even survive? The answer was hidden in the coming fire, and all the stars seemed to wait in silence for the first shot. Humanity's patience had ended, and the galaxy was about to learn what it meant to push them too far. The first day of silence had passed, and the galaxy still did not understand what was coming. They saw human fleets move in shadows, but no one guessed the storm on the dawn of the second day. The sky above a distant alien shipyard lit up like fire. Without warning, without mercy, humanity struck. The aliens had grown lazy, their shipyards filled with half-built cruisers, engines untested, weapons not yet mounted. Workers laughed and shared drinks. They believed humans would never dare. Then out of the dark came human warships, sleek, armored, their guns glowing with power. Torpedoes streaked through the void. The first alien shipyard was torn apart in seconds. Explosions rippled across the docks. Thousands of alien workers fled in escape pods, their screams never reaching the void. Admiral Reyes watched from the bridge of the dreadnought Iron Resolve, his face calm, his voice cold. "Target destroyed, move to next," he said. Around him the crew worked like a single machine. No one cheered, no one laughed. This was not revenge in their eyes, this was justice long delayed. Across the galaxy, reports flooded in. One by one, alien strongholds fell. Orbital stations burst into fire. Fleets never given time to form ranks. Humans struck with speed and precision, hitting not borders but hearts. Every move planned for decades, every strike cutting deep. Alien commanders scrambled in confusion, their comms filled with panicked voices. Where are they coming from? How do they bypass our sensors? Why are our ships not responding? Fleets tried to launch, but their hangars exploded before engines could ignite. Admirals gave orders, but their command hubs burned in human fire before the words left their mouths. The galaxy had seen war before, but never like this. Humans did not fight like blunt warriors, they fought like hunters. They struck fast and vanished, leaving ruins behind. They jammed signals, cut hyperlanes, shattered logistics, and always moved to the next target before anyone could respond. On the second day, the galaxy heard a voice. A transmission spread across every channel, every planet, every ship. A human voice strong and steady. "This is humanity's war." The words echoed in every language, translated by human code into every ear. 6 days is all we need. The message sent shock through the stars. Alien citizens trembled. Their leaders shouted in council halls. Some claimed it was lies, that humans could not win so fast. Others whispered that perhaps it was true, for already hundreds of ships had fallen. Already borders burned. On the homeworld of the Krath Dominion, the High Council screamed in panic. Their fleet admirals demanded time to prepare, but there was no time. Already a human strike group entered their outer colonies, cutting down defense satellites and blockade lines with surgical strikes. Their colonies sent desperate calls for help, but the Dominion fleet was too far, too slow. The humans were not only strong, they were disciplined, no looting, no slaughter of civilians. They struck only military targets, but they struck them with terrifying force. Alien citizens began to whisper, "They do not come for us, they come for our rulers. They come for the ones who mocked them." Aboard the Iron Resolve, Admiral Reyes received a report. 3 shipyards destroyed. Dominion response fleets neutralized, moving to Phase 2. The Admiral only nodded, his eyes fixed on the galactic map. Every star a point of fire waiting to be lit. "We are not here to conquer," he said to his crew. "We are here to remind them of what we endured, and what we will no longer accept." That night, or what passed for night in the cold of space, alien captains sat in their shattered bridges, staring at wreckage floating in the void. Human ships gone before counterattacks arrived. Their fleets scattered, their pride broken. One alien commander whispered as he drifted in escape, "They fight as if they have already won." The second day was not only fire, it was silence. Silence as worlds lost contact with their defenses. Silence as leaders realized their great fleets were nothing but targets. Silence as the galaxy understood that humans had not just prepared for war, they had planned a war so swift no one could match. And still humanity gave no answers, no demands, no treaties. Only the message repeated again and again. 6 days until the galaxy was remade. On the bridge of an alien flagship, the commander slammed his fist on the table. "They are insects. They cannot defeat us," but his words were drowned by alarms. Human warships had entered orbit. His screens filled with fire before he could even stand. The galaxy's greatest powers, who once mocked humanity, now faced a truth they could not deny. Humans were no longer patient, no longer quiet. They were a storm, and the storm had only begun. As the second day closed, the stars still burned from human fire. Alien fleets scrambled. Leaders fought among themselves and across the galaxy. The name of humanity was whispered with fear, and far away, deep in space, the human fleets gathered for the third day, engines glowing like suns, dreadnoughts lined in formation, carriers opening bays filled with fighters. And the galaxy thought they had seen the worst. But humanity was only beginning, and the night before day 3, the void was filled with silence. The silence before another strike, the silence before more worlds fell. The silence of a war already won in the hearts of those who faced it. On the third day, the galaxy woke to silence. Not the silence of peace, but the silence of lost voices. Worlds that once sang with traffic, with markets, with defense beacons, found themselves cut off. Whole sectors of space turned dark. Communication relays destroyed. Hyperlanes blocked by unseen human fleets. In the city towers of the Valari Empire, ministers gathered around a dead comm screen. One shouted, "We cannot reach our colonies," another answered. "Our fleets are gone. Our stations destroyed." No one dared to say the word out loud, but they all knew. Humanity had taken the sky. On the outer world of Sereth, dawn came with terror. Families stepped out of their homes to see enormous shapes in orbit, warships of black steel, human flags glowing on their hulls. The people trembled, expecting fire, expecting death. But no fire came. Instead, a single message filled the airwaves. "Your rulers sent raiders to burn our people. We will not harm you. Surrender your fleets and stand aside. This war is not with you." The aliens stared in confusion. This was not how wars were fought. They knew slaughter. They knew conquest. But the humans did not strike their cities. They struck only the weapons above them, sparing the helpless, sparing the weak. Fear spread. But so did something else, whispers of respect across the galaxy. Colonies woke to find their skies filled with human ships, massive dreadnoughts drifting like silent judges, battle carriers bristling with fighters, destroyers cutting off every path. But instead of destruction, humanity demanded only one thing: stand down in council chambers. Alien leaders argued furiously. Some demanded resistance. Others screamed that resistance was already hopeless. "They are cutting us apart. Piece by piece," one shouted. "If this continues, by the 6th day we will be nothing but scattered ruins." The great empires had always feared each other, always balanced power carefully. But no one had feared humanity. Now that small, underestimated race was tearing down the balance in less than 3 days. In the shadows of the war, stories began to spread. Whispers carried on fleeing refugees and intercepted signals. Tales of human tactics so precise they seemed unreal. A fleet of only 20 human ships striking and destroying 100 alien cruisers in minutes. A squadron of human fighters weaving through defenses like ghosts. Command stations falling before alarms could even sound. But the most chilling story came from a captured admiral of the core Dominion. He was dragged into his own council chamber, his body trembling, his voice hollow. "They are not fighting to win," he said. "They are fighting as if they have already won." The room fell into silence, his words sinking deep. The galaxy had thought of humanity as loud, desperate, emotional. But now they saw cold precision, every strike exact, every move perfect. This was not rage, this was judgment. Aboard the dreadnought Iron Resolve, Admiral Reyes stood watching the silent feeds of alien worlds. His officers reported. Communications blocked, colonies surrounded, enemy fleets scattered. The Admiral only nodded. "Hold orbit, do not fire unless fired upon. We are not conquerors, we are teachers, let them learn fear." And fear did spread. Whole worlds shut down, their leaders refusing to fight, their citizens staring at the skies filled with human steel. Even the bravest warriors felt doubt, for how could they strike back at an enemy that seemed to know every step before it was taken? Some alien leaders tried to rally resistance, calling for unity, calling for revenge, but their speeches were cut short when their comms collapsed, their fleets cut away, their strongholds already burning. The galaxy was learning the hard way that patience had not made humanity weak. It had made them dangerous. On the third day, the galaxy did not see great battles of fire and noise. It saw silence, planets isolated, fleets broken before they gathered, leaders trembling in their palaces, waiting for a storm they could not stop. The civilians began to see the truth, that this war was not against them, but against the arrogance of their rulers. And many began to ask in whispers, were the humans right? Did we push them too far? Meanwhile, in hidden war councils, humanity's admirals studied the next steps, the maps glowing red with targets, supply lines collapsing, enemy capitals vulnerable. Admiral Reyes spoke softly to his captains. By tomorrow, the galaxy will understand. By tomorrow, they will know what it means to test our patience. The third day closed with stars still burning and worlds still silent. The aliens who had once mocked humanity now feared to even speak their name. And as night spread across countless planets, alien citizens looked to their skies, dreading the dawn, wondering if human ships would appear above them next. The silence was worse than fire, because silence meant the humans were already there, already waiting, already ready to strike. The galaxy, for the first time in centuries, felt small, and humanity, once ignored, now held it in their hands. and the stars themselves seemed to whisper, the fourth day would be fire. The fourth day began not with silence but with fire. Whole sectors of the galaxy lit up as fleets finally gathered to resist. The alien empires, humiliated and afraid, could no longer wait. Their pride would not let them hide. They pulled every ship they had into the void. Battleships, cruisers, carriers, thousands upon thousands of vessels moving into formation. The galaxy believed this would be the day the humans were stopped. At the center of the Valari system, the alien admirals stood tall on their flagships, their voices sharp and angry. The humans cannot defeat us all at once. Their fleets are smaller, their numbers fewer. Crush them here and the galaxy will remember who rules. Orders were shouted, formations built, shields raised, weapons charged, the sky filled with the glow of countless war engines. But humanity had been waiting for this aboard the dreadnought Iron Resolve. Admiral Reyes watched the enemy fleet gather. His officers reported their numbers. Over 2,000 warships, sir. They outnumber us nearly 4-1. A silence filled the bridge, the crew tense, waiting for fear to rise. But the admiral only gave a thin smile. Good. Easier to find them all in one place. The battle began with sudden violence. Alien fleet surged forward, cannons blazing. Missiles streaking across space, the void itself seemed to shatter with light. The humans did not meet force with force, instead, their formations scattered like shards of glass, slipping through fire, moving faster than the aliens expected. Every strike a trap, every retreat a feint. Alien admirals shouted in confusion. They are breaking apart, chase them. Surround them, fleets pursued, only to be ambushed. Human destroyers cutting through their flanks. Hidden cruisers springing from cloaked positions. Entire squadrons lost before they even realized the trap. Then came humanity's new weapon. The aliens had seen missiles and lasers, but they had never seen the fury of the sky itself. From orbit above enemy worlds, human ships released rods of solid metal, simple but deadly, dropped at impossible speed. They burned through atmosphere like falling stars, smashing into ground targets with the power of small suns. Cities shook. Military bases were turned to craters. The aliens called them hammers from heaven. Humanity called them justice. Across the battlefield, alien captains realized something terrifying. The humans were not fighting them in space alone. They were destroying their strength on the ground as well. Every fleet yard, every supply base, every hidden command post, nothing was safe. The Valari High Admiral screamed across comms, "Hold the line! Hold the line!" Do not let them advance, but his words broke under the sound of explosions. Human battle groups sliced through his wings, splitting his fleet into fragments. His formation shattered. From the bridge of Iron Resolve, Reyes gave his orders with calm precision. Strike groups moved to sectors 6 and 7, cut their reinforcements. Carrier wings swarm their flagships. Do not allow command to stand. His voice was steady. His eyes sharp, his officers moved with discipline. Every order carried out without hesitation. The alien fleet, once proud, now burned piece by piece. Massive cruisers breaking apart under human fire. Carriers spilling fighters into the void only to be torn down by human squadrons. Entire battle groups lost in minutes still. The aliens fought with desperation, their ships blazing even as they fell, some ramming human vessels in suicide charges, some pouring every weapon into single human dreadnoughts hoping to break them. But the humans endured, shields flaring, armor holding. Their counterstrikes merciless on the world below. Alien civilians stared at the sky, watching streaks of fire rain down as if the heavens themselves were breaking. Their leaders had promised victory, but all they saw was ruin. One alien general, safe in his bunker, whispered as the ground shook above him, "We thought they were weak, but they are fighting with a fury we never imagined. This is not war. This is a storm." The fourth day turned the galaxy into fire. The balance of power shattered. The myth of alien superiority burned away. The humans, once mocked as fragile, now stood as giants as the battle closed. Only fragments of the alien fleets remained. Scattered survivors fleeing into the void, sending desperate warnings, "They are unstoppable. We cannot hold them. Retreat, retreat." But there was nowhere to retreat to. Humanity was already everywhere, their fleets striking deep into every empire. And still the humans showed restraint. They destroyed fleets, bases, weapons, but they left civilians alive, left cities standing. Their war was not conquest, it was judgment, and that made it even more terrifying. Because the aliens realized the humans did not need slaves, did not need territory, they wanted only respect, and they were willing to burn the galaxy to earn it. In the council chambers of the great empires, arguments turned to panic. Some leaders demanded surrender. Others demanded vengeance, but none could deny the truth. Humanity had planned for this war for decades. They knew every weakness, every secret, and they were using them with terrifying skill. And as the fourth day ended, one truth spread across the galaxy like fire. The humans had unleashed the hammers of heaven, and no one, not even the greatest fleets, could stand against them. The stars glowed with wreckage, the void filled with drifting ruins. And in the silence after the battle, every alien leader felt the same fear. The war was only halfway through, and already it felt lost. The fifth day was coming, and with it something even darker. Whispers of planet-killer weapons, desperate alien plans, and the question no one could answer: would humanity stop, or would they burn the galaxy to ash? The fifth day of the war began with dread, not only for the aliens but for humanity as well. For this was the day when whispers became reality, the day the galaxy revealed its most desperate and forbidden weapon. Across the stars, reports poured into human command, fleets spotted carrying devices of unimaginable size. Weapons whispered about for centuries, planet killers. Weapons designed to erase entire worlds, to burn oceans and crack continents. The alien empires had sworn in treaties never to use them, never to even build them. But desperation had broken those oaths, and now, the galaxy's proud powers prepared to commit the unthinkable. Aboard the dreadnought Iron Resolve, Admiral Reyes stood grim-faced before his officers. The holographic map glowed with red marks, each one a fleet carrying a planet killer. They intend to destroy our colonies, our people. His voice was low, heavy. They think fear will break us. Silence fell across the room. Then the Admiral's eyes hardened. We will not let them fire. We will not let them live to try. The order went out. Human fleets surged toward the coordinates, engines blazing, their formations cutting through the void like knives. This was no longer just war. This was a race against annihilation. The first clash happened near a dying star, its gravity twisting space into storms. Asteroids pulled apart, light bending in strange arcs. In that chaos, two great fleets met. Alien warships shielding their planet killer as it charged, human ships diving in with fury. The battle was unlike the others. The aliens fought with desperation, throwing everything they had to protect their doomsday device. Cruisers rammed human frigates. Carriers sent endless waves of fighters into suicide runs. The void filled with wreckage. But still the human fleets pushed forward from the bridge. Admiral Reyes gave his orders with steel in his voice. No mercy for planet killers, no retreat. Every gun to bear. Human dreadnoughts opened fire. Kinetic rounds ripping through alien shields. Beams slicing across enemy hulls. Fighters weaving through the chaos to strike engines and reactors. The aliens fought back with terrifying strength, their weapons blazing, their ships refusing to fall even as they broke apart. The planet killer pulsed with energy, its charge building, ready to unleash destruction. Then, humanity revealed its counter. Weapons forged in secret for this very moment. The harpoon missiles, long spears of reinforced metal tipped with miniature warp drives. They did not explode. They pierced. They phased through shields and tore directly into hulls. The first harpoon slammed into the planet killer. Ripping through its armor, the second followed, the third, and with a scream of tearing metal, the weapon cracked apart, its unstable core igniting in a blinding flash. The explosion lit the system brighter than the star itself. Shockwaves tearing through fleets, alien ships shredded in an instant, human shields buckling under the force, half the battlefield consumed in fire. Silence followed, only wreckage drifting in the endless dark. When the light faded, the planet killer was gone. Only fragments remained. Humanity had stopped it, but the cost was heavy. Human cruisers lay broken, fighters lost in the storm. Even the Iron Resolve shook from damage. But Reyes did not falter. One down, he said coldly. Find the next, and there was a next, and another across the galaxy humanity hunted, each battle fiercer than the last. Alien admirals fighting with hopeless rage, determined to unleash at least one world-ending strike. Humanity answering with fire and precision, never giving them the chance. On the fifth day, the galaxy saw battles of madness, fleets colliding in chaotic storms, commanders choosing to die rather than flee, stars themselves lighting up with detonations. Alien civilians watched the skies crack and burn, their leaders' promises of victory turning to ashes. In one system, a human strike group intercepted an alien planet killer moments before its firing sequence completed. A desperate squadron of human fighters sacrificed themselves, ramming into its launch array. breaking it apart with their own lives. The survivors whispered their names with honor, their sacrifice saving millions, and through it all, the humans showed no hesitation, no pause. The galaxy began to understand something chilling. Humanity feared death less than it feared dishonor. They would burn, bleed, and die before they let their people fall. By the end of the 5th day, the alien planet killer fleets were gone, destroyed one by one in storms of fire, their greatest terror shattered. Their hope of breaking humanity gone. But the cost was clear. Human fleets were battered, ships scarred, crews exhausted, their victories bought with blood. Yet their resolve never wavered, not for a moment. In the councils of the alien empires, despair grew. Some leaders wept in silence. Others raged, but none could deny the truth. Their strongest weapon, their ultimate terror, had failed. Humanity had faced it and destroyed it, and worse, rumors spread like fire. Whispers that the human fleets were now moving toward the galactic capital itself, the seat of power where every empire gathered, the one place the aliens believed untouchable. In the shadows of the war, alien citizens began to ask dangerous questions. If humans can do this in 5 days, what will the 6th bring? Why did our rulers push them too far? Are they the monsters? Or are we? The 5th day closed with the galaxy in fear, but also in awe, for humanity had stood against weapons meant to erase worlds, and they had not only survived, they had won. As the battered fleets regrouped, as the stars still burned with wreckage, Admiral Reyes gave his final order for the night, his voice steady, his will unbroken. Prepare for tomorrow. Tomorrow we end their pride. The 6th day was coming, and the galaxy, broken and trembling, knew that the fall of giants was at hand. The 6th day began under a shadow heavier than any before. The alien empires, once proud and unshaken, now stood on the edge of collapse, their fleets shattered, their planet killers destroyed, their colonies silent under human control. The war that was supposed to be slow had turned into a storm that no one could stop. And yet out of desperation they revealed their final secret. Deep within the core of the Zelthar Empire, a hidden fleet stirred, a fleet built in silence across centuries, unknown even to their allies, forged in secret shipyards buried inside collapsing stars and black hole edges. It was their pride, their monster, their final card, the Oblivion Colossus, a war machine so vast that smaller battleships looked like insects beside it, its hull layered with shifting alloys, its core powered by a star's heart, its cannons built to split moons in half. On the bridge of the Iron Resolve, Admiral Reyes received the first reports, his officers pale as they displayed the image, a ship so large it blotted out the stars behind it. "Sir," one whispered, "the Colossus has awakened, for the first time in 6 days." Silence hung heavy on the human fleet. Reyes did not flinch. His eyes locked on the monstrous warship. "Good," he said quietly. "Better to crush their pride all at once." His words steadied the crew. The fear in their hearts replaced by cold resolve. The alien councils declared the Colossus their salvation, their voice booming across every channel. "Behold the weapon that will end the human storm." Alien citizens cheered weakly, desperate for hope, though in their hearts doubt remained, for they had seen too much fire, too much ruin. The 6th day's battle began at the edge of the Maelstrom Rift, a region of space filled with violent storms of plasma and shattered asteroids. The perfect graveyard for fleets. Into this chaos the Colossus moved, its escorts numbering in the hundreds, every alien empire sending their last loyal ships to protect it. This was their final stand. Humanity answered with everything it had left, dreadnoughts scarred from past battles, carriers running thin on fighters, destroyers patched with hasty repairs. Yet their formations held strong, their engines blazing, their banners of earth glowing against the void. The clash was thunder without sound, fire without mercy. Alien fleets surged with desperate courage, throwing themselves at humanity's walls. Human destroyers darted between them, unleashing torpedoes and harpoons. Carriers released their last waves of fighters, filling the void with a swarm of steel and fire. At the center, the Colossus unleashed its fury. Its first cannon blast tore through space, a beam of raw energy splitting a human dreadnought in half, hundreds of souls lost in a heartbeat. Its second strike shattered a carrier, sending flaming wreckage tumbling through the rift. Alien crews cheered, for at last they had drawn human blood on a scale to match. But humanity did not break. Reyes stood unshaken, his voice cutting through the chaos. "Focus fire, do not scatter. Bleed its escorts dry, cut its wings, then strike its heart." Human ships moved with cold precision, Entire alien squadrons vanishing under combined fire, escorts burning away one after another. The Colossus began to stand alone, still it roared, its cannons ripping through space, each strike a sun's fury unleashed. Human fleets staggered, ships lost, men and women dying with honor, but none fled, none turned back. Humanity pressed forward, then came humanity's answer. A weapon whispered of but never shown, the Titan lance. A weapon designed not to explode but to pierce. A colossal beam of concentrated energy and kinetic force, so powerful it required the linked cores of 3 dreadnoughts to fire. Reyes gave the order, prepare the lance, engines dimmed. Power rerouted, shields flickered, and 3 human dreadnoughts aligned as one. The Colossus turned, sensing the threat, its cannons charging, the void itself trembling with the power about to be unleashed. In that moment, the entire galaxy seemed to hold its breath. The Titan lance fired, a beam brighter than any star cut across the void, slicing through the Colossus's shields, punching into its armor. The great warship screamed as metal tore and fire burst from its wounds, its cannons misfired. Explosions rippling down its hull, but it did not fall. The Colossus roared again, wounded but alive, turning its fury upon the human dreadnoughts. One of them shattered under its counterstrike. Another crippled, the Titan lance silenced for the moment. The battle raged on, humans striking again and again, fighters swarming like angry wasps, destroyers plunging into suicide runs to tear open weak points. The Colossus staggering under relentless pressure, every strike bringing it closer to ruin, and then at last humanity's sacrifice broke it. A squadron of human frigates charged directly into its cannon array, shields flaring, hulls burning. But they held long enough for the Titan lance to fire again. The second strike pierced the Colossus's heart. Its core ruptured, its star-forged reactor imploding. The explosion consumed the rift, a storm of light and fire swallowing fleets. When the glow faded, the Colossus was gone, its wreckage drifting as silent testament to human fury. The alien fleets broke, their will shattered, their survivors scattering into the void, their leaders silent in despair. The final hope of resistance destroyed. On the bridge of iron resolve, Admiral Reyes stood amidst the smoke and damage, his uniform scorched, his crew exhausted, yet his voice remained steady. "It is done," he said. "Their giants have fallen. Tomorrow the galaxy learns the price of pride." The 6th day ended with the fall of the greatest weapon the galaxy had ever built, and with it the last illusion of alien supremacy. Now only one day remained. One day before the war's end. One day before humanity declared its final judgment. And across the stars every alien heart beat with fear, wondering not if they would lose, but how humanity would choose to end it. The 7th day dawned like no other. The galaxy held its breath. 6 days had passed in fire and silence, and now all that remained was the final clash. The war had stripped the empires of their pride, their fleets, their weapons, but still, in the ruins of their arrogance, they gathered one last time, one last stand to stop humanity. Above the galactic capital, the great jewel of the empires, the alien rulers assembled every ship they had left. Not the proud fleets of the past, but a broken armada, patched together with desperation. Old cruisers dragged from mothballs, civilian ships fitted with weapons, even freighters pressed into battle, tens of thousands of vessels forming a wall of steel around their shining world. The message was clear. This is our throne. We will not surrender it. From the darkness beyond, humanity's fleets approached scarred, battered, carrying the wounds of 6 days of unending war. Yet their formations were strong, their banners steady. The iron resolve led them. Her hull scorched but unbroken, Admiral Reyes stood on the bridge, his face carved with exhaustion but his eyes blazing with fire. "Today," he said, "the galaxy learns its lesson. Today we end this." The aliens opened the battle with fury, wave after wave of fire crashing into the human lines. Torpedoes like storms, beams like suns. The void itself turned into a sea of light, but humanity did not waver. Their ships moved with perfect precision, formations splitting, weaving, reforming. Every strike met with counterstrike, every attack punished with brutal accuracy. Yet the battle was different. This was not just fleets clashing. This was desperation against determination. Alien ships hurled themselves forward with reckless courage, trying to break through, trying to prove they could still stand. Human destroyers danced between them, their torpedoes tearing holes in the wall of steel. Dreadnoughts unleashed volleys that turned enemy cruisers to fire. Carriers launched their last fighters, wings of steel swarming into the chaos. At the center of the alien defense stood their greatest creation. Not as massive as the Colossus of the 6th day, but deadly still. a fortress ship called the Crown of Eternity, built to guard the capital itself, its armor layered with ancient alloys, its weapons vast and terrible. It commanded the alien fleets with authority, rallying them even as they broke. Reyes watched it on the screen, his jaw tightening. That is their pride now. Break it, and the war is done. The order went out. Every human ship turned its guns toward the Crown. The battle raged for hours, the void filled with wreckage, ships shattered and drifting, escape pods fleeing like sparks in the dark. The Crown of Eternity stood like a mountain, its cannons tearing through human lines. But the humans would not stop. Dreadnoughts circled. Harpoons slammed into its armor. Fighters darted into its shadow, every attack carving deeper into its heart. The aliens fought with savage will. Even as their fleets died, even as their hope faded, they refused to abandon the Crown. Squadrons threw themselves in front of its wounded hull. Commanders sacrificed themselves to block human strikes. But the tide was unstoppable. Humanity pressed on, their fire relentless. At last the Crown began to falter. Its shields cracked, its armor split. Explosions tore across its flanks, but still it fought, its main cannon charged, glowing brighter than a star, ready to unleash one last strike that could tear the human fleet apart. In that moment, Admiral Reyes gave his final order. The Titan Lance all-power fire now, 3 surviving dreadnoughts aligned, their cores burning with unstable energy. The beam cut across the void like a blade of judgment, slamming into the Crown of Eternity. The alien fortress screamed, its cannon exploding before it could fire, its hull tearing open, flames bursting from within, its mighty form breaking apart piece by piece until at last it was nothing but wreckage, drifting in the silence of space. The alien fleets broke, their last defense shattered. Ships fled in every direction, commanders abandoning the field. The galactic capital lay exposed, surrounded by human fleets, its rulers staring at the skies with despair. But humanity did not fire. They did not bombard the planet. They held position, their warships like silent guardians above the world. Reyes's voice spread across every channel, cold and steady. The war is over. 6 days of fire, 1 day of judgment. We came not to conquer, but to end your arrogance. We will not burn your worlds. We will not enslave your people. But you will never mock us again, never strike us again, never forget what patience cost you. The galaxy trembled at his words, for they understood the truth. Humanity could have destroyed everything. They could have taken the galaxy for themselves. But they chose restraint, and that made their victory even more absolute. Yet even as the fleet settled, as silence spread across the stars, sensors began to tremble. Deep in the void beyond known space, strange signals appeared, pulses of energy older and darker than any alien empire, whispers of something watching, something waiting. On the bridge of the Iron Resolve, Reyes stared into the void, his face hard. This war is finished, he said quietly. But another may be waiting. His officers followed his gaze, silent, as if they too felt the cold eyes of something vast and unseen. The 7th day ended with victory. The galaxy bent to humanity's will, their rulers broken, their fleets destroyed, but above the wreckage a new shadow stirred, a reminder that even in triumph, the stars held secrets darker than war. The 6-day war was done, but the story of humanity was only beginning. The 8th day was not marked by fire, nor by silence, but by something stranger. The war was over, and yet the galaxy could not breathe. In only 6 days, humanity had turned empires to ash, broken fleets that had lasted centuries, humbled rulers who once laughed at their name. The stars were scarred, skies filled with wreckage, but the guns were silent. Above the galactic capital, humanity's fleets hovered like steel guardians, their hulls battered but unbroken. The Iron Resolve drifted at their head. Its scars, a story of battles, survived. Inside its command bridge, Admiral Reyes stood in silence, looking down at the planet below, a world that had once commanded all others, now trembling under the weight of defeat. Across the galaxy, alien citizens whispered, the humans could have taken everything, but they did not. For on every world where human fleets had passed, cities still stood, children still played, families still lived. Humanity had destroyed only the weapons of war, sparing the innocent. This mercy confused the galaxy more than the fire ever had. In the shattered councils of the alien empires, panic turned to shame. Leaders who once mocked humanity now begged for terms, but the humans gave none. No chains, no demands for tribute. Only one command spoken across every channel. Remember these 6 days. It was not a treaty, it was not negotiation, it was judgment. The galaxy began to see humanity not as weak, not as prey, but as something new. A race that had endured insult and waited in patience, and when their patience snapped, they struck with such fury that no empire could stand against them. The lesson was carved into the stars. On the 5th moon of Sareth, alien children pointed at the human warships above and asked their parents, "Will they stay?" And the parents could not answer, for no one knew what humanity would do now. Humanity had shown power enough to rule, yet they had not claimed thrones. They had shown strength enough to conquer, yet they had not enslaved among the ruins of the war. Whispers of rebellion spread, not against humanity, but against alien rulers. Ordinary citizens asked, "Why did we provoke them? Why did we push them until they broke?" Some called humanity monsters. Others called them saviors. But all agreed the galaxy had changed forever. Inside the human fleet, soldiers stood tired but proud, their ships scarred, their comrades buried in silence, yet their eyes shone with something greater. Not triumph, not glory, but certainty. They had fought not to conquer, but to defend. And in that defense they had proven themselves to the galaxy. Admiral Reyes sent one final message across the stars, his voice calm and heavy. "We do not seek to rule your worlds. We do not seek to sit on your thrones. We ask only this: never again test the patience of humanity. Never again mistake silence for weakness. We endured, and when we struck, you learned the cost." His words carried to every world, to every ruler, to every frightened citizen. The message became legend, repeated in taverns, schools, markets, whispered by frightened children and proud soldiers alike. Humanity's patience had ended, and the galaxy would never forget. But even as the galaxy adjusted to its new order, shadows stirred, for in the far reaches beyond the rim, strange signals echoed, pulses of energy that did not match any empire's technology, ancient voices older than the wars of today, watchers who had seen the 6-Day War and smiled, on the bridge of the Iron Resolve. Reyes listened as his science officers whispered reports of those signals, his eyes narrowing. "Something else is out there," he said softly. "Something that waited for us to rise." The officers exchanged uneasy glances. For if humanity had shaken the galaxy in 6 days, what would happen if a power older and darker was waiting just beyond? And yet Reyes did not flinch, his voice steady as always. "If they come, they will learn too. Humanity does not bow. Humanity does not break." The 8th day was not truly part of the war. It was the aftermath, the quiet after the storm, but it was also the beginning of something new, a galaxy where no one would ever again dismiss humanity, a galaxy where silence could no longer be mistaken for weakness. Alien poets would later write, "In 6 days the galaxy burned, and on the 7th it broke, but on the 8th, it learned." The fleets of Earth slowly withdrew, leaving the alien capitals intact, their leaders humbled, their people stunned. Humanity had no need to sit on thrones. Their throne was respect. Their crown was patience turned to fury. And in the endless dark beyond the maps of any empire, something stirred, something vast and cold, watching the humans who had shaken the stars, waiting for the moment to test them. The 6-Day War was over, but humanity's story was not. In fact, it had only just begun, and the galaxy, scarred and trembling, could only wonder what would happen when the next storm came, and who would survive it.